Okay, so the king of R&B, right? Well, the king of R&B, I see a lot of people say a lot of people saying a lot of people say Usher, a lot of people say Chris Brown, right? A lot of people say a lot of things, right? So what I think about the king of R&B, I think like the king of R&B, the king of R&B the king of R&B needs to know how to dance, which Chris Brown and Usher qualifies. They both can dance, which is a good thing, right? Anyone who just sings, right, cannot be the king of R&B because if you're because music, right? Music, right? People are meant to dance to music, right? People are meant to dance to music. So if you can't dance to your own music, it's like you cannot put in this debate about the king of R&B, you can't put somebody who just sings only about sex and relationship. You know what I'm saying? Or the person who just sing about sex is like the person also have to know how to dance, bro. I see a lot of people mention R. Kelly, right? But R. Kelly is not a dancer. He just sings. He's a good singer, but he cannot dance. You know what I'm saying? I feel like to be the king of R&B, you have to know how to be able to sing and dance, not just sing and be doing all this sexual stuff. It's like, for example, now, somebody like Tank now, right? Tank is a R&B singer, right? But he only sings to the ladies, so you cannot. It's just like he's not diverse. You know what I'm saying? Somebody who is the king of R&B is like has to be loved by men and women, not just women. You know what I'm saying? Like someone like Michael Jackson. You know what I'm saying? So right now is between Chris Brown and Usher. But I would say there can be two kings, right? So Usher is the senior king, while Chris Brown is the junior king, right? So, but if you want to go around and do like and ask the public, right? And ask the public, right? You have to ask just men, because if you ask a bunch of women, women are just gonna be choosing who they think is attractive and who they like, especially the teenage girls. They all were just gonna pick like Chris Brown because they think, oh, Chris Brown is handsome. But if you wanna do justice and find out who the real king is, you have to ask all men. Ask all men, and all men. I think majority of men are gonna say Usher is the king of R&B right now. Chris Brown is also a king, right? But he's like the junior king. You know what I'm saying? But right now, Usher is the king. You know what I'm saying? Just the way Michael Jackson will always be the king of pop, right? That's how Usher is now the king of R&B. Because I see clips of him in this show, the R&B tour, right? Between him and Chris Brown, Usher and Chris Brown. I see him wearing the crown and sitting on the throne, right? It's part of the show. I see clips of him doing that, and I'm like, yo, yeah, it's definitely the king. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely the king of R&B. Usher is the king of R&B. Chris Brown is also a king, but it's like the junior king. There can be two kings, right? But Usher is like the senior king. You understand? Then Chris Brown is like the junior king. You know what I'm saying? But Usher's songs, right? Usher's songs is like really, really sophisticated, right? They talk about like deeper issues and relationships, and Usher's songs are very sophisticated. You know what I'm saying? And Chris Brown's song is kind of like playful. You know what I'm saying? They both can sing, but Usher, for some reason, just looks more mature, right? Usher's songs are like mature. Chris Brown does do a lot of mature songs, but majority of Chris Brown's songs is like like a teenage vibe. You know what I'm saying? Usher is like mature. If you listen to the Confessions album, that's like one of my favorite album ever. Like the Confessions album, right? It's like, yo, bro, that album is one of the best R&B albums. So definitely Usher is definitely the king of R&B. Remember, I said if in order to be in order to qualify to be called the king of R&B, you have to be able to know how to sing and dance, not just sing. You see, everyone be talking about, oh, Bobby Brown. Bobby Brown is a good candidate. You can put Bobby Brown over there, right? But for R. Kelly just sings and he writes songs, but he doesn't dance though. You know what I'm saying? It's just sings. You cannot just be, you can't be the king of R&B if you just sing. You know what I'm saying? Because the music that you make, people dance to your music. You yourself have to be able to dance to your music. You know what I'm saying? So yes, I'm saying it right now. Usher is the current king of R&B. He's the senior king, while Chris Brown is the junior king. You know what I'm saying? That's it, man. You know what I'm saying? That's it. Usher is the king of R&B. Peace.